One of the principles behind our DNA groups is that they are peer-to-peer. So anyone in the church can be involved because these groups are conversation-based friendships, not teacher and learner or material-based. Friend with friend. Having said that, each DNA group will need a facilitator, someone who's not leading it, but just gently, very gently taking responsibility for making sure that the group happens. The danger, of course, without a facilitator is that the group could get a bit stodgy, sloppy, lack focus, or just forget to catch up at all. So what's the role of a DNA group facilitator? Well, simple things like this. They simply pull the group together, make sure meetings are arranged, remind the group to review actions from last time and to read the Bible passages before the next time, but in a gentle way, not a controlling way at all. Facilitators are going to help group members to reach a point of action each time. Firstly, in the therefore I will take this piece of action that God is helping me and wanting me to move into each time, ensuring that those statements are realistic and relevant to what's going on. And secondly, in asking the question, so who is it you're going to share what God is doing with you this next week? And then it'll be helpful probably for that person to record what's being said so that there can be follow-up next time. It would also be great for the facilitator, of course, to help keep everybody focused on Jesus and not just on conversations that are wandering all over the place. I would say primarily the role of a DNA group facilitator is to ask good questions and to encourage others to ask good questions. You see, these are conversation-based groups, not teaching groups. And the quality of conversation is going to largely be determined by the quality of the questions being asked. Asking good questions is a really underrated skill, in my opinion. The ability to ask a good breadth of questions requires interest and good listening. And asking the right depth of question requires wisdom and sometimes a bit of courage. Now at this point, a word to the men. I know I'm a man, so I have very limited experience in many ways, but in my experience, I would really like to encourage the men in Citygate who are part of DNA groups to really get better at asking questions that have both breadth, taking interest and listening, and depth, requiring wisdom and sometimes some courage. It's not always easy to know, where do I pitch my next question? And sometimes we have to be very careful with that, and other times, and we will find in DNA groups, sometimes we just need a little bit more courage to ask that next question a little bit deeper to help us have a conversation that really helps us to get to grips with what it means to grow as a disciple of Jesus. Questions always, of course, that align with our culture, being authentic, honouring, generous, and courageous. Now, the facilitator can either be the same person for the duration of the group, or it might actually make sense for each member of the group to take that role on for a time. If you've got any questions, concerns, issues, thoughts as a DNA group facilitator, please feel free to speak to your life group leader if it's formed out of a life group, or if not, through the person that you're accountable for your DNA group.